All right, what's up, everyone? Don Bay here, Proof of Workforce Live. So, GDP was supposed to expand in the first quarter by 0.3%. Instead, it contracted by 0.3%, the first decline in 3 years. That's a lot of threes. Arizona, very close to the finish line of being the first state with a Bitcoin strategic reserve. And Sean O'Brien from the Teamsters President saying, Amazon doesn't care about the working stiff. Punch your time cards. This is where workers and wage earners come to grab Bitcoin signal. Let's go right to the economic news of today. The GDP, gross domestic product, I think that's what it stands for. The economy contracted by 0.3% in the first quarter of 2025, making this the first decline in 3 years. Lots of theories, but a lot of people are saying the contraction is attributed to a surge in imports before the tariffs took effect. Trump is saying it's Biden. Biden's saying nothing. The Dems are saying it's Trump. The percentage of recession is up, but who knows what's going on? They're always saying it's a recession. The real question is, where is the safe place? Where is the quality? Where do you, maintain your purchasing power as things are getting more expensive and we have some turmoil in the economy? There's a certain someone who manages over $10 trillion in asset, one of the largest asset managers of the world. His name is Larry. Let's hear what he thinks about flight to quality.
This rally is way beyond the rumor. I think the rally today is about a flight to quality with all the, all the issues around the Israeli war now, global terrorism. And I think there's more people running into a flight to quality, whether that is in treasuries, gold, or crypto, depending on how you think about it. And I believe crypto will play that type of role as a flight to quality.
So that wasn't from today. That's an older clip of Larry Fink saying that Bitcoin is a flight to quality. Interestingly enough, Bitcoin held pretty well today around the 93, 94K range. Hey, I'm not one to check price, but that's what it was. Another person that feels, or not person, sorry, a state that believes Bitcoin could be a safe place to park purchasing power and wealth is the state of Arizona. They had a bill, SB 1025, that now moves to the governor's desk. And here is let's take a look at a clip from one of the speakers on a different Bitcoin bill, because there's two that came in front of the Arizona legislature.
I will tell you that there are 17 states now that are establishing cryptocurrency reserves. This is, quite frankly, and I'm glad that Representative Cavero brought up macroeconomic policy. There is an abandonment that is going on right now. It's in slow motion, but there is an abandonment from Federal Reserve currency. It's called a flight to safety. Now, whether it's real or perceived, the fact of the matter is we now are seeing over $1 trillion in capitalization of multiple different cryptocurrencies. Representative Wilmoth made a great point that the market is going to seek what the market wants to have. So what you have now before you is a bill that is permissive, not prescriptive. It's not requiring the treasurer to do something, but it is opening a path. I believe Representative Diaz might have talked about opening a path. I'm sorry, I couldn't see all the faces, but opening a path to facilitate the market. Quite frankly, when I hear a conversation about risky investments, Federal Reserve currency is about the most risky investment you can have today. So with that, I'm happy to answer any other questions you might have.
The market will seek what the market wants. Flight to safety, that's a state. That was another bill, but let's pull up SB 1025, because again, there's a lot going on and you want to make sure you keep track of your source documents. But Senate Bill 1025 is a strategic Bitcoin reserve. It is headed to the governor's desk. And it says that in addition to the investment authority in Articles 2 and 2.1 of this chapter, a public fund may invest not more than 10% of the public monies under its control in virtual currency holdings. It also says that if the U.S. establishes a strategic Bitcoin reserve for the storage of government Bitcoin holdings. A public fund may store their holdings in a segregated account within the strategic Bitcoin reserve. So I don't know if that's going to happen, but you see legislation going to the governor's desk that says if the United States is going to create a Bitcoin strategic reserve, that states can hold Bitcoin within that reserve. Heavy stuff. Interesting to see what's going on, and we'll see if Arizona becomes the first state to have a Bitcoin strategic reserve out of many states that have bills in the works right now. Moving to proof of workforce and a little bit of news from around the union world. Teamsters President Sean O'Brien, he says, newsflash, Amazon has zero allegiance to the United States. I'll drop the Boston accent. Decades after free trade politicians sold out American workers, Amazon has built an international empire fueled by industrial slavery managed by the Chinese Communist Party. Those are some fighting words. It continues to say, while here in the U.S., it neglects, abuses, and disowns an American workforce to further inflate its profit margins. What Jeff Bezos and Amazon are really afraid of is sharing their wealth with the people who created it. Hold Amazon accountable to American workers. So some heavy wording there that's reminiscent of the old labor movement, all the industrial workers of the world, right? The extraction of wealth from the workers that create the wealth. I'm sure Bezos has a different opinion on who creates wealth within Amazon, but this brings up a good point. You hear a lot of national level unions and unions around the world talking about how the financial system is pitted against the American worker, and that system, which is controlled by the government, has abandoned the worker. Yet they continue to fail in learning about Bitcoin, some of them, because we know some unions are learning about it. And it brings up the question, when will large unions opt out of a legacy financial system that they openly say in the public is extracting wealth from workers and is set up against the American worker? So interesting from Sean O'Brien there. That's it for our lineup of some updates, but we do want to hit you with a self-custody tip of the week brought to you by the legendary La Rocca's Corner Bar out of San Francisco. A good place to lose your Bitcoin, I guess, and meet some folks. There is a Bitcoin-friendly bartender there. So your tip of the week is this. A lot of conversation from a pull request from Peter Todd to remove arbitrary limits on op return. If you are saying to yourself, what does that mean? And you're confused, then your self-custody tip of the week is go find out. We love the Bitcoin network. We love the fixed supply. We love, everything about Bitcoin. With that, comes responsibility, right? A lot of people worked really hard to make Bitcoin what it is today. So take 5, 10, 15 minutes and learn what this pull request means. I'm not going to inject my opinion. That's for you to find out. But there's a lot of talk about it. So dip into your, community talk forum, get on X or whatever social media and find out what this pull request is about and what it means for the Bitcoin network. Don't trust, verify. Thanks, y'all, for tuning in to Proof of Workforce Live. Remember, if you are going to trade your time for money, make sure your money holds up over time. We'll see you soon.